All right, now a group of inmates is suing the Department of Correctional Services for 10 million rand for alleged brutality. The prisoners allege that they were assaulted back in 2014 by prison officials at the Leeuwkoop Maximum Correction Centre in Johannesburg. The group has also alleged that they had dogs unleashed on them. They seek damages for pain, suffering and emotional trauma. The case is before the High Court in Johannesburg, and for more we're joined by lawyers for Human Rights Nabeelah Mia. She's going to just give us more information with regards to this case. Nabeelah, thank you very much for your time. Just explain to us exactly how far this case is. I mean, the suing of the Correctional Services Department was back in 2015. We've obviously seen a change of ministers and probably also those in the highest place in that office. How far is the case in terms of coming to finality?
Thank you very much for having me. It's important to note up front that it's been 8 years as of yesterday since the incident occurred where torture was perpetrated against our clients. And today we're sitting where the case has only just, evidence before the judge has only just finished being heard. And we have 2 more hours left of closing arguments, which will be completing next week, and then we await judgment following that.
So since 2014, just to understand it clearly, none of them ever got bail? They've been in prison ever since 2014?
No, 2 of our clients are currently out on parole, 3, however, remain incarcerated.
And exactly what charges are they facing?
It's for a number of charges, but they've been incarcerated for 4 years prior to the incident in place. But in terms of the case that we are representing them in against the Minister of Justice, it relates to assault and torture perpetrated by the Department of Correctional Services officials in 2014.
And exactly what are they seeking? So they're seeking the 10 million rand. Is there anything else that they're asking for? Maybe like Marikana miners' families who are also asking for an apology over and above some of the money that they've asked for?
So it's important to note that the damages that our clients are seeking are monetary, but they relate to damages to cover their medical expenses, most of all for both the physical and the psychiatric injuries that are still ongoing to today. And it includes also damages for pain and suffering and infringements of their constitutional rights.
So you've been representing these clients in this particular case since around 2015 or so, the alleged assault having happened in 2014. So I assume that you've been in communication with at least the Department of Correctional Services as well as the minister who heads that particular department. How has it been speaking to them? What's their reception like? Are they willing to listen, or are they being arrogant?
The department has defended the actions in court. They've put up a defense. Their case overall is that force was used against our clients, but that it was a minimum force and that it was justified in the instances. So the Correctional Services Act does provide for instances where use of force can be used, but it's subject to a number of controls and checks and balances where the powers and the instances when force can be used and the level of force that can be used and the types of weaponry and armory that can be used is also very limited. And they're saying that their officials operated within the confines of the law, whereas we and the evidence that we've put up on behalf of our clients clearly shows that it was not.
So basically,
and on top of that, our client, sorry, go ahead.
So essentially what they're saying is that the correctional services officials who acted in this manner, this apparent brutal manner, they're not denying that there was some punishment on these particular inmates, but what they're denying is the type of force used. So in terms of those particular correctional services officials, for instance, are you aware whether or not they still work at Leeuwkoop prison?
They are still employed by the Department of Correctional Services, some of which are employed currently still at Leeuwkop, where some of our clients are still incarcerated, and others of whom have been deployed to other areas within the Department of Correctional Services.
So have your clients complained in any way of further intimidation by those who still work at this particular correctional services center?
I think that, it's important to note that on top of, aside from correctional services officials governing, seeing to, the detention of inmates, they're also charged under the Correctional Services Act with ensuring that the dignity and the safety of inmates are upheld. So you can imagine from our clients' perspectives that the very people charged with ensuring their safety and their dignity were the perpetrators of this awful assault and torture. So having to confront that, having to confront the environment of that, can result in and has resulted in severe post-traumatic stress disorder for our clients, those that have been released on parole, as well as those that are still currently incarcerated.
So while defending the actions of their employees, for instance, the Correctional Services Department or the Justice and Correctional Services Department, did they mention why exactly the action was taken? Because like you said, they're not necessarily saying an assault didn't take place. They're just saying that their employees had to retaliate to something, right? Are they explaining what that was?
They have provided an explanation, sure, which is that it essentially was that they had to ensure law and order. But this explanation has only come up recently, following the incidents of 10th of August 2014. There's no actual record that shows that they were under attack by the inmates, and so had to defend their actions. There was no clear records of our clients even being charged with attacking correctional services officials, but yet they have now put that forward as a reason why, and that's only come to light very recently. But it doesn't appear in any of the official records.
All right, Nabeelah Mia, thank you very much for your time. She is from Lawyers for Human Rights, telling us about some inmates who were actually suing government for alleged brutality while they were serving time. Still to come.